Wow. Same thing on the other side. Hello, Eddie.
Hello.
How are people? I forgot to pull this up on. I forgot. I always have to pull it up on my phone just in case they don't get or don't see the comments on the side. How do I pull it up on my phone? It's been 2 months. It's been a bit since we've done this.
Watch live now. I can't. I'm in it.
Oh, so it is living.
Yeah, it's definitely live. I got a notification to mine as well.
Well, how do I?
Do you want me to comment something to see if it comes up?
I guess. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I don't know. I forget how to do this. So.
I think you just go to the channel.
How do I see it on your videos? No. I don't know.
I don't know.
Does it matter?
You are watching.
I don't know. Oh, here it is.
Don't know.
Does it matter?
Oh. You are watching.
Okay. Oh,
hello. We're just having some technical difficulties.
Yes. Oh, 2 people are watching. Okay. Well, I'm assuming everything's okay. So welcome. This is Ohana Adventures. I'm Allie. I am part of Ohana Adventures. I just said that. That's dumb. This is a live show that we are trying to do monthly, although it's been a couple months. Testing. Hello, Mickey's girls. How are you? The lounge fly ladies. That's what I call you guys because you have fantastic lounge flies.
Yeah,
Look at the best lounge flies. I don't know where they get them. I'm so jelly. We try to do this every month. It's basically a wine with us where we talk about various Disney things that have happened lately. It's been a couple months since we've done this just because, summer happens. So I'll let you ladies introduce yourselves. So Liz and E, why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. I am Liz Zitney, and I am California Liz. I appear periodically on the channel. I don't know. I'm a Disneyland advocate, but go to Disney World fairly regularly, especially now that we have girls' trips out there.
Yep.
Indeed.
And, of course, the Liz Jolly.
The Liz Jolly. I'm Liz Jolly. I'm the other half of Ohana Adventures, and I love Disney. That's
Hard
all.
stop.
Me too.
That's all. And we're done. So thanks for joining us, you guys.
Yeah, that's all. Have a good night. Give your waiters.
Have a good night.
I'm wearing a shirt.
You're wearing a Mickey shirt?
Well,
speaking of what we're wearing, so we'll talk about what we're drinking because we always try to have a themed drink. But what we're wearing is this month's ears. We try to wear themed ears. So if you guys can see, just zoom in. Let's awkwardly zoom in. Yeah. These are our fairy ears. Last time, I almost literally said last year. It was not last year, ladies. It was, thank you. These ears are from 2019.
Mm-hmm.
When we went to, not Boo Bash, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, we dressed as the fairies from Sleeping Beauty, right? No.
Yes.
Yeah. Correct. And I made us all tutus, so that's what these are for. Mine are looking a little it's missing a jewel, right there.
Mine needed a repair today. My ear was falling off.
Yeah. Oh, the ear was falling off. Yeah.
I had to reglue. To be honest with you, this is so terrible. Since we didn't go anywhere in 2020, all of my ears are stored in my big suitcase.
Oh,
so I pulled them out and I got 4 pairs all at once. So I need storage. I should go back and watch Ellie's ear storage video that she did.
Oh, yeah. Mine are all on my bedroom wall.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I actually want to do a new thing on my wall. I put them here, they're up there, but I kind of want to do a new thing with shadow boxes. But did you guys see, now that Mickey's Girls is on, that new lounge fly where you store the Mickey ears?
Yeah.
Did you see that new lounge? I don't particularly love the pattern, so I'm kind of hoping they come out with more patterns. But it's it's kind of thicker. Yeah, and you kind of store them, and then they have little snaps on the inside. They're specifically made to store your Mickey ears. I saw that. I was like, that's genius. So you can like switch it out during the, because honestly, like I have so many ears that I would wear a different pair of ears every hour. I don't know. So anywho, so another thing that we do on this show, she has that one and she loves it. Oh, yeah, she's so lucky. I'm so jealous. So another thing that we do is we try to have themed drinks to the show. Now, I'll be completely honest, I forgot about the themed drink, so I'm kind of pulling this out of left field. So my themed drink, and so today's show is Disney becoming too exclusive? Is Disney becoming only for the rich? That's the conversation that we're having. Lots of things have happened where people are upset that Disney's becoming too exclusive, too expensive, yada, yada. And so that's our conversation. So my drink is a summer Hummer. And how I'm tying, I know, right? Okay, well, okay, just hang on. How you tie it in is the lime vodka I can only exclusively get at our local grocery store. I can't get it at Meijer or Walmart. I can only... I know it's a stretch. Shut up,
sure.
You guys. Okay, Sydney, what do you got for us? What do you think?
I have an elite midnight millionaire.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think this is a widely known thing. I've seen one recipe of it and then other people tag the recipe. It is vodka, champagne, and a strawberry. But I thought it was very appropriate because it's elite and it's a millionaire, and midnight, only elite millionaires will get to be in the park at midnight from now on, apparently.
Ooh, that is a good.
Cinderella.
So smart. I know.
Yeah.
As we pass all those peasants who have to leave the. Yes, you have to leave the.
How
Goodbye,
basic.
Peasants. Goodbye, peasants. So, thank you. She'll be right back. She's sharing our link. And Liz Jolly is not drinking. I'll let her explain.
I have first
but
of all,
for good reason. She's not pregnant.
I'm not pregnant. Yeah, that's not it.
That's not the reason.
I worked so many hours. I worked 15 hours yesterday and slept an hour and then worked 8 hours today. Yeah. So I cannot do alcohol right now. I feel like I would be drunk instantly, and that wouldn't be a very fun video. Yeah, or maybe.
So for those of you that don't know,
you have these exclusive blue glasses.
I know you always have the best sunglasses. So for those of you that don't know, Liz Jolly is a wedding coordinator. So the summer is always her busy time with work and stuff like that. So yeah. Okay, so like I had said, this show is, we're all going to just chat about, is Disney becoming too exclusive? Is Disney becoming too expensive? Is it for the rich? Is it only for the ultra rich? And we all have our opinions. And I guess I want to preface this with, these are our opinions. And like in no way, like everybody has some of these topics that we do talk about actually are very heated. Is that the right word to say? Like a lot of people have different opinions, which is why I like to talk about it on shows like this, because I like just, to have that conversation or whatever. So one thing that I want to start out this conversation on, extended evening hours. So one of the things that Disney just announced is that for people who are staying in deluxe resorts, and that includes deluxe villa resorts, like the DVC resorts are deluxe villa resorts, for people who have reservations at deluxe resorts, they are offering extended evening hours. Now, I don't know what that means, like if it's just an hour extra or 2 hour extra, 3 hour, I don't know what that means. So basically the value and the moderate don't get the extended evening hours, only deluxe now. And that's starting October 1st. And it started this firestorm of comments on Facebook. So many people upset, but so many people like, okay, so let's start it out. Liz Sydney, you heard about this. Your first initial thoughts. What did you think?
I personally am okay with it. And that's not just because we tend to stay DVC. I have felt for a long time like there is not enough value to the deluxe resorts. And the argument against that from a lot of people is the value is the resort. But the price difference is so extreme that I don't think you can say, oh, well, they've got a spa and they've got, room and dining, and they've got more restaurants. I don't think that really assigns it off. The biggest challenge to this, I think, for Disney is that it's something that everyone used to have, and they took it away from people. And I think that's what really has triggered people and made them very angry. One of the most interesting things I saw in the comments was that there were people that always stay deluxe that said, I disagree with this. And there were people that always stay value that said, I think this is fine. So it really is split. You've got people on all sides of the spectrum. But I do feel like it's fair to say, hey, you're paying the big bucks to stay with us. You should get to have at least some extra perks within the parks too. A lot of people argue that we all pay the same price for tickets. Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
But most tickets are included as part of your resort package. So throwing on some extra park hours to me doesn't seem like it's a terrible idea, or that it's terribly unfair, because the parks are still open over 12 hours a day most of the time regularly. There's no reason that you can say, I don't get enough park time and I need to have that evening hours time. I don't think that's a great argument, but other people obviously disagree with me, and other people will continue to disagree with me because they're very passionate about it.
Going back to, people were upset that like we all pay the same price for the ticket and we all get the 8 a.m. to, or what, I actually don't know what the hours are. We all get the regular hours, correct?
Yeah, so do all the other people that buy tickets that aren't on property. So are you saying that they should get to have early morning magic hours because they're paying the same ticket price too?
Yeah.
Well, no, that's your perk for staying at a Disney property. In addition, you now have an additional perk if you stay at the nicer, more expensive. I'm not even going to say nicer. The more expensive Disney properties.
Yeah.
Because that's all they are, really. They're just more expensive. I've stayed at the Contemporary. I've stayed where did we stay? I've stayed at the Animal Kingdom, but then we also stayed at All-Star Music. I wouldn't say that the experience is drastically different to the tune of an extra $400, $500 a night between those three resorts. So take that as you will.
Yeah.
Yes. So what do you think, Liz Jolly, when you heard about the extended evening hours? So the people who just joined us, we're talking about the recent announcement that Disney said that only people who are staying in deluxe resorts get the extended evening hours. So.
Yeah. I also doesn't really bother me. Again, I'm a little biased because we usually stay DVC, so we would be in that category. But I totally agree with what Liz said about them getting an extra perk. The thing with like the spas, the restaurants, whatever, that's all paid. Like you have to pay for that on top of your hotel room already. This is included. And there aren't really, besides this one extra magic hour, there haven't been anything included in the deluxe resorts that, you pay that price and then you have to pay for everything else on top of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and I'm glad you brought that up, Liz. Because I actually watched a different vlog where one of the travel agents talked about, she liked this because you got to a point where it's like the people who are staying in deluxe resort, how do you differentiate that? They're paying this extra money and they weren't really getting a whole lot extra.
Right. So, and it's cool. And the deluxe resorts, a lot of them are cool and whatever. I also think it makes sense. Disney is probably trying to book more of the deluxe resorts and that price point and whatever, so that this makes sense to add this on. And then B, I think the deluxe resorts are also more adult and or older family themed, or that is the more clientele they attract. Not saying, I think the first time I ever went, my parents splurged and we went to Wilderness Lodge, maybe, I don't remember. Wilderness Lodge.
I believe you did. Yeah.
So, that's not to say that no families with kids stay at them, but that's definitely more, more the deluxe resorts. Yeah. And I have to just say, like, the deluxe resorts are deluxe resorts. They're not meant to be for everyone. They're meant to be for higher price pointed people. Disney does offer a lot of things for everyone. And, again, is it too expensive now for anyone? Debatable. But the deluxe, they aren't offering, the deluxe resorts are not supposed to be for everyone. They're supposed to be for the people that can spend that money. So, yeah.
Correct. So Anna with Happy Travel Vlog says, I really think it's all in favor for people who are spending more and staying in the expensive deluxe resorts. She's right on. I mean, you pay for what you get, right? Yeah. Right. In a way. However, I do want to circle back to Liz Zitney's point of, I 100% have empathy for why people are upset, though. I don't want to make this sound like we're going, oh, people just need to deal with it. I totally understand why you're upset. I totally get it. Because actually, Port Orleans, Port Orleans is one of my favorite resorts. Yeah. So here's a question for the Liz's. Would we be staying at deluxe resorts had we not done DVC? Would we stay at deluxe resorts?
No.
Not
to go as often as we do.
No.
One of the things that I realized thinking about this recently is I've always been like, oh, when I was a kid, we went to Disney all the time. I thought back. I think from the ages of, let's say 4, because that's when we moved up to Illinois. So we were further away. I was born in Florida. Then we lived in Texas. We moved to Illinois. So then we were 4 hours, a much further distance away. And I think after that time, we went to Disney 3 times. Mm-hmm. 2 of those times were when my dad was a marathon runner and was trying to qualify for the Boston Marathon. So those were more of a task-based vacation. The only other time I remember going to Disney World with my family during that time, my parents set up the most extravagant Disney World vacation that I've ever heard of in my entire life. And I was thinking about this and I was laughing to my husband, like, I have to talk to my parents and be like, how did this happen? Because I don't understand. But the thing is, if we went every year, there's no way my family would have had the money to stay at the Grand Floridian on a Gold Key package and have all of our parks and all of our golfing and all of our boat rentals included. That would have never happened. But my family saved all of our money and went once, essentially, during the entire time from 4 to 18, So there needed to be a value to that deluxe resort. And so I get that. One of the things that it sounds really crappy to say, I'm just going to be the villain in this video, I think. But if you want the perks of staying at the deluxe resort and you don't make millions of dollars, you don't make a ton of money, you either have to rent DVC points, which is something that we do, and we do it pretty affordably. Or you have to save up your money and stop going 3 times a year.
Ding, ding, ding.
If you want,
or if you go 3 times a year,
it can be done. You just have to save. Maybe you don't go on a vacation to Disney for 5 years so that you can have the biggest, fanciest, best deluxe resort vacation you could imagine.
Yeah.
Liz,
I'm exactly the same boat where we went to Disney. I mean, my family, we went to Disney a bit because my aunt and uncle live in Florida, but we definitely didn't even, I don't even think we stayed on property I know we stayed that one time at Wilderness Lodge. Another time I definitely remember staying at Caribbean, but
I love that one too.
For a day. And definitely my family was not, Grand Floridian spa every.
Mine wasn't either.
My mom is Grand Floridian on an all-star budget. So
yes. We know, Pam.
So we went once in 17 years.
Yes.
14 years. We went one time and it was all the vacation.
Yeah. So if anybody is interested in how you rent points, because we've done it twice now and we've had nothing but great experiences. Looks like they rented points last week and went to Animal Kingdom Lodge, which is great. So we have a couple of vlogs on our channel of how to rent points. We are renting points for November. It's actually very easy. Pros and cons to it. Pro being basically you pay a moderate level price for a DVC resort. Con being you have to pay up front. You don't pay in installments, and you know what I mean. Basically, it's like, here, take all my money, Disney. Although I feel
and there's potential risk involved depending who you're dealing with and who you're renting from too.
Yeah,
100%. There's potential risk involved, but yeah. So, do you guys think that this new system of the extended evening hours are going to make people possibly upgrade or go to deluxe resorts to begin with?
I think it depends. I think we need more information. How many days of extended hours? How long are the extended hours?
I'm waiting for that.
You know, there's still a lot of detail out there. If they're going to say, you know, during a week, you can have 3 extra hours at Animal Kingdom. Well, in a 1 week vacation, I'm not going to drop an extra $1,000 to have 3 extra hours in Animal Kingdom. If they're going to say every single night, extra hours in a different park, yeah, sure. Or having the flexibility of being able to pick which park you want to go into, which is my favorite thing about the new extended hours. Yeah. But that's a lot of employee.
It's a lot of unknowns
for Disney to say, oh, you can go to any of the parks that late. So we'll see.
So So Anna, we aren't sure how long the evening hours are. All they've announced is extended evening hours. So it could be an hour, could be 2 hours, it could be 3 hours, it could be 5 hours. I doubt it.
Disney till 5 a.m.
That would fit with our lifestyle. Okay, so let's move on. Next thing Disney just announced, and a lot of people have their eye on this because right now Walt Disney World does not have fast passes. Disneyland Paris is doing a paid fast pass system right now. Okay, so let me set this up. Let me break it on down. I'll take 5 hours. Let me break it on down for you. Let's go down. Disneyland Paris, as well as Shanghai Disneyland, already have what's called a virtual queue standby pass system. They've already had that. Well, Shanghai has. I don't know if Disneyland Paris has, but I know Shanghai Disneyland has, where they shut down the line. So when a line gets to be a certain length, so let's say 30 minutes long, they shut down the line where you can't get into line anymore, a physical line anymore. And you scan your Magic Band or card or phone, or I don't know what they use over there. And you enter what's called a virtual queue, okay? So that's something Shanghai Disneyland has been doing for years. I think Disneyland Paris has been doing that for years. Not quite 100% on that. So that is coming back. On top of this, Disneyland Paris is now doing a paid fast pass system where, say you go to Remy's Ratatouille and you don't really want to scan your, the physical line to shut down. So you have to scan your Magic Band to get into the virtual queue. You don't really want to do that. You just want to ride it now. You can pay anywhere from €8 to €10 rate. I think it was $8 to $10 per ride.
I just translated in my head. They said approximately $10 US, and that's all I held on to. So
yeah, like $10, give or take.
Whatever.
To just go to the front of the line, and it's per ride, so it's like an a la carte kind of a system. Okay,
per ride per person.
So per ride per person. Per ride per person. Hello, always Disney 26. How are you? So you have the 2 systems, or actually 3 systems. The actual physical queue, and then that shuts down. The virtual queue. Or, I don't want to wait. Nobody got time for that. I'm going to pay my $10. Liz Zitney, what do you think about that?
So this is a part where I kind of, I didn't jump on the bandwagon as quickly, so to speak.
You didn't, because I remember you and I having words about it.
We had a conversation about this. To me, I said, I like the premise. $10 per ride is a lot. To me, it seems like a lot. If they said it was $5 a ride, for some reason, I'd be like, oh, absolutely. But that defeats the purpose, because there's probably a lot of people that would say, yeah, I'll pay $5 to ride right now. Yeah. But I have to look at it as, if I go with my family of me plus 3 others, $40 to jump to the front of the line for one ride. That's not really worth it to me. I think about what's the one ride I would do that for. Probably like in California, Radiator Springs Racers. But the problem is I was a pass holder, so we went all the time. So I'd just be like, nah, we'll get it next time, you know? But if I was only going once, like let's say Mickey's Runaway Railway, I haven't ridden it yet. I really, really want to ride it because ours isn't opening until 2023, I think. Would I pay $40 for my family to get on it right away just for this vacation? I don't know, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I maybe would do that for if I had never ridden it before is Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah.
And it won't be an option for Rise of the Resistance because they already have the virtual queue, which is completely different than every other virtual queue that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And I have a different viewpoint because I don't have kids. And so this is another reason why we always invite California Liz on, because sometimes I get so narrow-minded that I forget other people have different experiences with kids than I do.
Right. Well, and I'll say I don't want to pay that money. I don't have a problem with other people paying that money and cutting in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
So the system's fine. I don't really have a problem with it existing, but it's not something I'm going to use. Probably. Mm-hmm. I'd use it with just the three of us. You betcha. I drop my $10 and we go on something and then we go get more drinks. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Liz Jolly, what do you think?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's a Universal has the paid fast pass. Theirs is obviously completely different. I think it's definitely a trend. I think everyone can agree the current fast pass system does not really work.
No.
Or has some big flaws. So
yeah.
I think this makes
our last Come Wine With Me show.
Go watch May.
Yeah, go watch May.
Yeah, go watch May. Go watch May.
So I think this is improving upon that. I totally get though, like a family. No, I probably wouldn't. If I had a family of 4, I don't know that I would, drop $40 depending on the ride. I mean, that again, that's for every ride you want to do that. I mean, that's a lot.
I appreciate that Disney is doing it a la carte. So, for example, Liz Zitney, say it's end of the day for you, and Reese has to ride Mickey's Runaway Railroad, and it's 5:00 in the afternoon, and you can't sign up for the virtual queue anymore because the park's going to close in 2 hours. And you don't know when you're going to be back to Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and that's a situation where I probably would.
Yeah.
But I also am not that parent that won't say no to my kids. So.
Right.
That's another issue.
You know what, Matt? You take him. You guys go have fun.
Yeah, you
wait till 2023.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think you're right. Like it's $10 for a reason because they don't want everyone doing it.
No.
Yeah.
Because then what's
the point? Yeah. If it was $2, $5, whatever, everyone just be like, yeah. I want to jump all the
money.
Yeah. But think of it this way too, and I'm going to go back to Remy because I know that's the big ride coming out, and it's Epcot because that's where we're spending most of our time in November. Remy's the ride that we all really, really want to ride. I don't think I'll pay for Remy. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to scan my Magic Band. I'm going to go drink for 2 hours, and then I'll be back. You know what I mean? Like,
I really
because
like
you have to keep. Yeah, you have to remember that now. Keep in mind that the virtual queue. Keep in mind that with the virtual queue, you still. What I'm hearing is you still wait in a standby line, but I think it's significantly less than an actual stand. Does that make sense?
I would imagine that it's a lot like Rise of the Resistance, where you get your time to come back, and then you come back, but you may still have to wait 15 to 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
They're getting everyone through the line and getting them on the ride.
Yeah.
It's Disney.
So like you're waiting. Yeah.
You will have to wait in a line at some point at Disney. That is a pet peeve of
unless you pay for a plaid.
Yes. Yes. So I don't know. I kind of like it.
Doing that one day?
Yes. One day. Yes.
What are we doing? VIP
paying
tour?
For a plaid and getting 10 friends and all going together.
Oh, for my 50th.
Yeah.
Okay. Which will also be my 50th. So
and my 40th.
Correct.
Yay,
Yes, and and Liz is 4. So if you guys don't know, that's like in 9 years.
Tis.
Yeah.
So we have to
It's
save
in 9 years.
$1,000 a year, right? Isn't that what it is?
Yeah. Well, no, VIP tour is like, isn't it? Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I might be thinking of something else, but
It's hourly, so it would be more or less depending how long we wanted them.
Okay. So
And how many friends
I think it is a good option that I wanted to tie something in. You know, we talked about the extended evening hours and now the paid fast pass. I know a lot of people, and this is my opinion, a lot of people like to say that Bob Chapek is doing this just to get money. Yes, I agree. Disney wants to make money. Newsflash. Disney is not a nonprofit organization. Newsflash. So I totally get that. However, I am under the opinion that the number one complaint Disney has from guests when they do guest satisfaction is crowds. That is the number one thing that they hear. And while this is their way to make more money, I do think that Disney is listening and wants to manage the crowds a little bit better.
Yeah.
And I do think that this is a way, because how do you manage the crowds? So Liz, I want you to talk about California and annual passes. How did Disneyland manage the crowds?
Disneyland has always had a very big local fan base because there's a ton of people here, first off. And it's
a local
parks. If you've never been to Disneyland versus Disney World, the reason Walt Disney World is so huge, the reason Disney went through all of these loopholes and all these like channels to try and amass tons of property for Walt Disney World before they even started building is because Disneyland is confined. It can't get much bigger than it is now. We'll probably never have a third gate unless it's off property somewhere and you have to take a bus to get to it. I don't know. But they're really confined to what they have right now. For example, they've been building up parking structures a lot because they can't build out, and then they're stealing the parking lots and building onto the parks with the existing parking lots. California Adventure used to be the Disneyland parking lot, and they got rid of it because they needed a second gate. So that being said, huge local fan base and not much space. Crowds are always an issue. I love going to Disney World because the minute we hit Main Street, it's like twice as wide. So there's so much more space for the people. What they tried to do to manage that, because so many people that are local get annual passes, it just makes sense if you're going to go enough to pay for it. And they had multiple levels of Southern California passes and multiple levels of additional passes. They got rid of the Southern California passes, or several of them, several of the lower end ones. And so people had to stay grandfathered in. And if you didn't renew in time, you lost it. So that's one way they managed it, is to get rid of some of those lower level ones. And then they took the other passes and they just kept raising the price and raising the price and raising the price and raising the price. I looked at my original pass, my first Disney pass I got in 2005. It was $240 for an annual pass for Park Hopper. That was the elite level. That was the premier premium pass in Disneyland. When we got rid of our passes, my annual pass was $1,800, I want to say, for the top of the line. And we talk about, oh, well, passes at Disney World are expensive too. No. To add on the Disney World pass cost me $800. So I had full access to everything at Disney World. So 4 parks, 2 water parks for $800. And I was paying $1,800 for my 2 parks in California. So what they realized doing that by continuing to raise the price is it didn't make a darn bit of difference. People are still paying. People are still showing up. It's chaos all the time. Like, there's still way too many people there all the time, which is why we became rope drop people. I'm not a rope drop people, but I was, to try and get through what I wanted to do and not deal with the crowds. So people have always said, well, why don't they just raise the prices of the annual passes? And then people will keep paying. They keep raising the prices of the tickets and people keep paying. I have not gone back to Disneyland yet, even though I was an avid goer, because I'm waiting for whatever annual pass option comes out, because what they decided is we've already raised the prices too much and it hasn't helped, and we still have too many people. So now they're getting rid of the pass system completely and they're reconfiguring it because they realized it didn't work and we were all still paying for it.
Yeah.
Correct.
So you can't price people out of Disney. That's what we learned from this experiment.
Yeah, you can't price.
But here's my So here's my question. Do you think Walt Disney World would be different? Do you think you could price people out of Disney World?
I don't know, because I would have thought that by now just the amount of crowds and that kind of thing would cause people to choose to go somewhere else. I cannot believe the number of people that still complain and are like, well, the last time that I went 4 times in a year, why are you going so often if you hate it so much? I don't understand the clientele at Disney World. I feel like I understood the clientele at Disneyland. I don't understand it at Disney World. So I don't know.
But I truly believe that, yes, Disney's trying to make more money, but I think this is their experiment, give or take, to see if this will help crowds.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Well, and we haven't seen yet. I anticipate that the new Disneyland annual passes are going to look like the Flex Pass that they introduced at the very end. Now, I had the Flex Pass for both my husband and my son, because the only reason I had the Premier Pass is I was still going to Disney World, and financially it made more sense for me to get the highest level pass so that I could also add on Disney World. For what they had open availability. There were very few blackout days, if there were any. It was between like Christmas and New Year's. And they could go anytime they wanted, but they had to do park reservation. So all the people that are complaining about park reservation, this is where that started. With the Flex Pass, you had to go in and you had up to 30 days in advance to say, I'm going to go on this day. You could only reserve 3 days in a 90-day period. If you reserved and you didn't show up, then you lost passes.
What it's like for annual pass holders, I believe, right now at World.
It is. We can reserve up to 3 days unless we're staying on property. If you're staying on property, you can book for your entire vacation. But if you're staying off property, which I am in April, then I can only reserve 3 days. So I have 3 days reserved for April of next year because it's spring break and I'm worried I'm going to get blocked out, but that's all I can do right now. So it was open availability, but you had to reserve in advance. I never once had a day where we couldn't go on a day we wanted to go. So I think that's similar to what's going to happen here. They're talking about basically like a frequent flyer pass kind of option is some of the rumor that we've heard. And that would make sense if they're going to say, you know what, you can buy a pass that gives you 10 days of access into the park or 24 days of access into the park. I think they'll limit it that way. And that's how they'll tier. And if they do that, then you reserve in advance, and you get so many passes and so many days to use. What that will end up doing is pushing a lot of things towards the end of people's pastimes because they'll hoard their days. But it means they can limit how many pass holders are in the parks so that they can leave room for paying guests.
Yeah. And that makes sense. I mean, the getting totally unlimited access to Disney, it's like that's amazing that they offered that. That's
right.
I mean,
I feel like I said that it'll leave room for the paying guests. I don't want to imply the pass holders are not paying guests. I am always a pass holder everywhere I go. But they already have your ticket money. They don't care if you show up after that. You will go in and probably eat dinner. We eat at the parks a lot more than I think normal normal visitors do because we're there all the time and we like it, and we have favorites that we do. We always go in and get corn dogs. We almost always end up with candy apples and souvenirs and coffee. We spend a lot of money as pass holders in the park, but we're not staying in the resorts. We're not. A lot of people will save up all their money and drop it all at Disney because it's their once in a lifetime family vacation. We're not those people, and a lot of pass holders are not those people.
And then those people will go and have their once in a lifetime vacation that they saved all their money and wait in line for 3 hours, and that's the bad guest experience that I don't think Disney want.
Because all the pass
or can't get a dinner reservation.
Right,
correct, or something, or have to wait in line 2 hours to see Mickey. So, it kind of all...
Those people aren't coming back.
That is what they should do virtual queue for. Sorry, I just realized this. Meeting the characters, virtual queue is great for that. I always want to meet Winnie the Pooh, but I do not want to wait 5 hours. Right. And also I still want, I get that you want to take 5 to 10 minutes per person to hug all the characters and interact. So, okay, sorry. That's just a random thing.
You know how I feel about characters. I never know what do you say to characters?
Hi. I don't like the human characters. I like the characters that can't speak.
Yeah, I had a
I'm embarrassed.
awkward interaction with Joy once because she wanted to talk to me and she can't talk to you. And she was like, "Oh, you're pink hair," and like all this fun stuff. And I was like, "Okay, thanks, bye." Like, I gotta go.
I gotta go.
So interactive. She was doing a great job, and I was like, now I feel weird. I gotta leave.
I don't know. I'm a
grown up. Let me go.
I don't like that. For some reason, I don't like the characters that can speak to you because I feel like I get in a weird like comedy improv thing that I'm like, I didn't come here to do this.
Yes,
I know. I don't do improv. I don't do improv.
I don't do improv.
That's not my thing. So going back to the crowds, the one thing that I was excited about the extended evening hours is crowds. Mm-hmm. I am excited to have extra hours and not have people in the park.
Yeah. My favorite memory from our trip in 2019 was us drinking our fancy champagne cocktails, walking out of Epcot after hours because we were there for extra magic hours. Nothing was open.
100%.
We couldn't do anything.
Nothing.
Peasants.
Walking out for cocktails because there was no one around, and it was really nice.
And we went like this, all you peasants that cannot stay at the Magic Kingdom right now because you're not deluxe like we are. Honestly. We would not be deluxe. Would it not be for DVC points? So let's be honest.
We would not be deluxe.
I just
again off property in April.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to come back and tell us about your experience. So I do not in the 80s and 90s when I was a young thing. Oh, those were the days. I do not remember the crowds being what they were. Do you guys remember the crowds in the 80s and 90s?
Not at all.
The Eisner days.
Maybe I had way more patience as a child, but no, I like my family definitely just not a patient family. And I don't remember it being an issue at all. And I feel like at work, it was like my dad was mad at every single ride because we can't get on and we have to wait in line. So, yeah. No, I don't remember crowds as much.
Yeah. So would you pay more to have lower crowds? That's really what ding, there's the thesis of our whole entire, live cast right now. Would you pay more for less crowds?
Yes, I would. I don't like people.
I would too.
I mean, yeah, I would too, but so would a lot of people, so I don't think it'll fix the problem. That's what I've said all along is charging people more doesn't fix it. Just people still show up.
Should they?
Should they charge people more or should people show up?
No.
I think they need to lower capacity. But that's unrealistic.
Probably what they will end up having to do. I think this is an experiment that they're trying, not going to work, and they will end up having to lower capacity. So FYI, for all you people watching out there, they will end up having to lower capacity. Market here today, July 18th. They will lower capacity and they will have to increase prices. Or they will have to say fireworks can't be every single day. Mm-hmm. Parades can't be every single day. Characters can't be every single day.
Yeah.
They will have to.
Yeah.
If you want lower crowds and we're not getting the money, we can't afford to pay. Because isn't it like $1 million? And I'm sure I'm dramatically, it's probably not $1 million a night for fireworks, but they probably have something where they we have to get X amount of people through our gate in order to afford daily fireworks at night for Magic Kingdom, Epcot.
Every park has their nighttime spectacular.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Well, and
so they're going to take away.
But now I thought I heard they're doing something new and different. It's not fireworks because animals.
Animals. Yeah. Yeah, I think they are doing some night show there though as well. I have to say though, like waiting in line, I do expect there to be crowds at Disney. Like obviously, again, that's another pet peeve of I don't want to be around any people. Well, then go to the wilderness. Not
the Wilderness Lodge.
Go to the forest.
But I like people watching.
I do too.
Yeah, I
would be fine if every ride was 60 minutes or less. Honestly.
Yes.
I know that I'm going to pay for my time to go ride Big Thunder or Splash Mountain or those kind of things. And I pick one every time I go. but you can't go in anticipating no rides or no waits.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Right. That's unrealistic.
So,
or not like doing that without having to do extra.
Correct. Like expect 60 or less. If you don't want, then pay extra. So the last point I wanted us to talk about, how does Disney the cost of a vacation compare to other vacations? And when I was prepping the ladies on this, Liz Zittney went, I don't know, I don't go anywhere else.
I'm the problem.
I'm the problem.
So how does Disney cost-wise compare to other vacations? So let's take it out there like all-inclusive vacation. Liz Zittney, if you were to take Matt Reese and Keegan on an all-inclusive vacation to Cancun, how would that compare, do you think?
I would imagine an all-inclusive vacation out of the country, I've got to pay for airfare and everything. It's probably going to come out about even. But I would also imagine that I'd have a better time because I wouldn't have to worry about the financial aspect of it. That's like a Disney cruise.
At Cancun,
price-wise.
You'd have a better time in Cancun.
I'd have a better time. No, I think that the cost would be about the same. I did say that. I did say that because I wouldn't have to worry about paying for food and paying for meals and budgeting for that. That adds an element of stress. That's why people do the Disney dining plan. It's not a good deal. They do it because they don't want to worry about the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a convenience. No, I would have to agree with you. I think the cost is the same for like an all-inclusive or whatever. It's just people don't think of it.
Yeah.
The big thing to me is airfare.
I think Disney is a little bit more. Yeah. Airfare.
I can see Disney is maybe a little bit more, but I'm trying to think if like you go to like Universal. I mean, that's different because there's not like there's not like a hotel.
Well, there is.
Yeah, there is.
There are, but like honestly, it's not like you don't spend like a whole week at Universal.
Yeah, Universal is on par with Disney now. Price-wise, it's not that much cheaper. Okay. The resorts are very expensive, several $100s a night, and the tickets are almost as expensive because we're pricing in Universal because we're doing 2 days at Universal for our April trip. It's expensive. It's expensive like Disney is. Now, could I take my family to the Grand Canyon or to Yosemite? Absolutely much cheaper to do that because you have more selection about where you're going to stay. I'm not a girl that's anti-Motel 6. They've been really good to us and they're cheap. I would stay in a Motel 6. If there were a Motel 6 on Disney property, I'd stay there too. But
and Liz, you had said something really interesting to me when we were chatting last week. You said like the Grand Canyon, you had said that like I need to get my kids to other places besides Disney. Now, the Grand Canyon is a great place to go, and I'm saying this to everybody: take your kids to the Grand Canyon. It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. Are you going to get that Disney magic, that feeling like, oh, this is my childhood and that, the heartstrings are pulled? No, you're not. And that's what you pay for. I think you pay for that extra for the Disney magic.
Right.
But in no way am I saying don't take your kids. Take your kids to the Grand Canyon, people.
The memories that you make going on a Grand Canyon tour vacation versus going to Disney World, they're very different memories for kids. My memories, we did a trip to South Dakota when we lived in Illinois, and that trip to South Dakota, the memories that I have are about my family. It's not about the luxuries. The memories that I have from our Disney trip are riding on the Sprite boats whenever we wanted to. And all we had to do is go up and show our room key, or, getting to charge things to my room, or it's all financially based, honestly.
We need to be
Disney vacation.
We need to be a part of the Loberger family.
Yeah.
It was
Pam
real
needs
nice.
to take us on a trip.
But again, I don't know how it happened either. So it's not, it will never happen. It was the once in a lifetime Disney vacation. It will never happen again. So
yeah.
But yeah,
it will not happen.
I don't have memories. I don't have a single memory of like family bonding in the park. I have memories from the restaurants, but I don't have memories of standing in line with my family and playing heads up. We didn't have cell phones. It's different. I have great memories of my brother narrating the life of a walking stick stuck on our windshield. It's different. It's just different.
Different memories.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That is our live for this month. I hope everybody had a great time watching this. Again, these are our opinions. We know lots of everybody has different opinions. Everybody has different walks of life, different situations that you're in, and we completely recognize that and empathize with that. One more thing. Anna said, everything is so expensive. We're traveling to Maine, renting a cabin at a camping resort, and it's nearly $2,200. But that doesn't include traveling, like the drive plus everything else.
Yeah.
So
Camping
I would have to agree with
Anna. I have to say, my family does RV stuff a lot, and prices have gone up in COVID world because demand has gone up as well.
Nickel and dime everything. So yeah, only time will tell what Disney does with the Fast Pass system. As soon as we hear more information about the extended evening hours, I'm sure Liz and I will be talking about it on a vlog. We're looking forward to seeing what that looks like. We go in November, so we're very excited. So thank you everybody for joining us, and I hope you guys are having a magical week and a magical weekend. And remember, adventure is out there.
So bring out the magic in your life.
I didn't want to try and like do it together.
That was so awesome.
So I was doing the dance.
Yes, and then so thanks everybody for joining us. We will see you real soon.
Bye.
Bye.